So this is Rocky Gaming 122. Welcome to the stream. We're going to be playing Welcome to Arenthul, a campaign that I've actually run a couple of times in the past, and we're gonna get started. So if I could get each of you to give us a quick description of your character. Let's start with Ostarion, since you're closest to me on the call.
I am a human ranger. I am 22 years old. I am from the area around Draklin, and for a long time I've been wandering the wilderness, and I've returned recently. I don't know, man.
That's all you gotta do. And now, how about Flintlocke?
I'm a dwarf, 135 years young.
Nice.
And I'm tired of hanging around with dwarves, so I'm going to wander other lands. And I am a fighter, and some people recognize me from time to time as that guy who fights in gladiatorial battle pits, and I can occasionally get my own lodgings comped to me for fighting caged animals or just criminals or whoever's in the pit. What else do you want to know?
Then, if there's nothing else, that's good.
I kill things.
Nice.
Nice.
Tana? To the best of your abilities.
I am a half-elf druid. I find joy in and all of nature, and I have recently wandered back into the human lands to buy more tobacco, because you can't find it in the wilds. You just can't.
Nice. And Captain Helga.
So I am a bard, and so I like to tell tales about all my fun adventures. And unfortunately, I'm a land pirate because there's no way to sell the sea. And I'm sad about that. And I've been struggling with it my whole life. And I'm 25 years young. So.
Nice. And you said Dragonborn, right?
Yes.
Perfect.
And I'm blue.
Alright, then I'm just going to quickly read us this description of our game world. So there was a war-torn region on the coast. It was a small city that had been recently blessed by the influence of a pantheon of godlike beings. There were a few small families that managed to gain possession of 3 large boats from a salesperson who appeared to be a little bit out of his time. They planned to take the boat and sail to a new land, leaving the troubles of the known world behind them. As an additional cost to the deal, the salesman required that he received a ride to this new world with them. Along with these 3 families, Rose, Violet, and Arden, they filled the boat with as many young and capable families as they could to help them repopulate whatever new worlds they came to find. It was a long journey, and times were hard for all, but for some reason harder on the adults. There were only 4 adults, defined as somebody who's 16 years of age or older, who survived the trip. Brianna Rose, Evermud Violet, Ezekiel Arden, and the mysterious salesman who was with them. There were plenty of young adults to continue to sail the boat, but most of the stories and culture of the original families were lost. The land behind was forgotten save for a few short tales handed down from the Royal Three, that's Brianna, Evermud, and Ezekiel. Eventually, the group found a new world to settle in. Quickly, hunters from other civilizations in this new place found their settlement. There were surprisingly no humans among them. They were mostly peaceful and were more than happy to help these families get started. A few hundred years passed, and with the help of these other civilizations, the pioneering people were able to bring up several cities of decent size, namely Draklin, Travok, and Baresh. The head of these cities was called Draklin. At this time, Annabeth Rose is on Draklin's throne. She is nearing death and will be soon succeeded by her eldest daughter, Sigarda Rose. There seems to be an odd underlying magical presence in the land. So, Ostarion, we're going to start with you. You know what you're doing. What are you going to do?
Well, I have recently returned to Draklin, and I guess I'm going to go to the palace or whatever and talk to the person on the throne and try and reclaim my land, I guess.
Alright, so you head up that way, and you know that, or as you get closer, you start to realize that they're having like their public meetings to allow the outlying farmers to come up and address the royalty about what problems they're having, talk about taxes and how they're unfair, and all of these things. And as you approach, you start to notice it's pretty packed. And what do you plan to do?
Well, I guess I'm gonna stroll right past everybody and
Just
get
like
the ruler's attention.
just walk straight up. You're not gonna wait in line. You're just gonna go up there.
Nah, screw it, dude. Let's go.
All right. So you walk up there and you see your friend Sigarda from when you were a child that you haven't seen in years, and she's actually grown up quite a bit. And there's a certain air of control about her that you didn't know as a kid. It used to just be like this really friendly girl, but now she's grown to be an adult who seems like she actually would be capable of running this country. And as she approaches, she seems surprised, but her attention does snap to you from whatever farmer was complaining about some goblin pillaging his land or whatever. And she's totally focused on you now, and the farmer slowly trails off as he realizes he's totally lost the center of attention.
Alright. I'll apologize to the farmer, and then I guess I'll talk to her.
What do you say? Go for it.
Well, it's been a while.
It has.
I would like to reclaim my castle and the small town of Rose.
It's been years since anybody's even approached that area.
Shoot, man, I'm sorry. I'm saying a lot. Well, perhaps you could spare me a man or two from the guard, and I could investigate.
What seems to be the problem?
Well, as you just said yourself, no one's been there in years, so I'm sure something nasty's moved in. I could check it out myself, but it does seem fitting that as the lord of the place, or at the very least, if you could.
Do you see that? What I whispered to you through the chat?
No.
No. Maybe I have to whisper it to.
Oh no, I do. All right.
You did? Okay. So does that change what you say then? Or are you just gonna say this?
No, yeah, all right. That changes it then, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, as for the guards, when I returned to this area, I went directly there, but there appeared to be a significant infestation of goblins. So.
Well, that does seem troublesome. How many guards would you like?
How many can you give me?
That is a difficult question. We are currently facing a somewhat of a threat from some barbarians from the unknown lands. So I would have to look into it to see what I could do. If you were to come back this evening, I could treat you to a dinner, and we could see what we could spare. It might be in your best interest to see if there's anyone in town who'd be willing to help.
I see. I guess I take the hint, and I thank her for her graciousness, and I leave.
Alright, so she beckons you closer really quickly. Like, she knows you're going to leave, and that's fine, and she's not trying to stop you. She just beckons you closer. And she shakes your hand as you approach, and as you pull away, you find a small bag in your hand containing what we discussed.
Alright,
It's weed.
Yes.
sweet.
Alright, so where do you... now we're going to jump to the rest of the party. Let's start with Flintlock. What do you do? What are you... Like, what would you do on a normal day in Draklin? For whatever reason you're here. What's up? Flintlock? Jim?
Sorry, what?
What are you doing on like a normal day in Draklin, or for whatever reason you're here? You're in Draklin. What are you doing?
Waiting for trouble,
Where?
so I can be a part of it. In a bar, in a dirty bar that has a fighting pit. It can be public or it can be like secret
Fighting
back room. Yeah, well, like where people place bets on fighters.
Ooh, let me read you some of the basic information about Draklin, actually. Just so you guys know. So this is a pretty large city. The population's about 20,000. It's about 18,000 of that is human. And the rest is just assorted halfling, elf, dwarf, gnome, half-elf, half-orc, etc. It's a pretty wealthy area, but not like ridiculously so. They import a lot of alpacas, blueberries, chickens, cloth, silk, and yarn, and export a lot of ale, avocados, dogs, gunpowder, and necklaces. There are often a lot of earthquakes in the area. And that is pretty much the important part. Yep.
There's got to be a CD bar somewhere.
I'm sure there's many.
Yeah, there are, totally. So, the area in front of the... So if you're coming... You guys can see if I like ping right here, right? You guys get that? So if you're coming up from the rest of the world up into Draklin, through the front gate, or through the southern gates, you see lots of wealthy housing, and you walk straight, like the path goes straight up into the castle. And if you go behind it, that's where a lot of the less wealthy communities are. So you'd be back in kind of the shadowy area over there. Also, between the two areas off to the east, is a market to the east of the castle. So you're going to be in a bar called the Downed Goblin, and they have a fighting pit. And it's more of just like a bare hand fighting wrestling match kind of thing, but that's really the best you can find in the area.
Yeah, we can do that.
Cool. Is there anything else you want to be doing besides just like making bets, doing your wrestling fighting thing, or whatever?
No, people bet on me.
Okay, yeah, totally.
I have a gladiatorial costume that I put on that makes me recognizable to people who travel those circles or bet in those circles. I go town to town, peddling my craft.
Nice. How about Tana?
Alrighty, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to find the market of a zone.
It's pretty big and it's pretty obvious. You can find it.
Alright, because I picked up a smoking addiction from a lonely old satyr. So I'm going to sell some of my old equipment that I really don't want to carry around anymore.
Fair enough.
And try to find tobacco.
Considering you're carrying 110 pounds, that's fair. Do you want to... So I can either just like take it from you and I can give you the gold later if you want, or you can try to barter with people and see what you can get. If you do just have me do it for you, you're going to get about 30% of the value, considering it's used and the person has to resell it for a profit. If you're okay with that, we can do that.
Fine.
Okay, I will then just take things off your sheet and keep a note of them, and then after the session, send them to me, and I can deal with that tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Cool.
After that, I'm going to try to find an inn or like a gambling hall, because I also have an addiction to gambling.
Okay.
I have an addiction to every vice except for alcohol.
Nice. So are you going for something like sketchy, where it's kind of like where Flintlock is, or are you going for something a little bit more classy, where it's they have gambling, but it's also like you wouldn't feel out of place, like just
Well,
hanging
I'm
out there?
observant, so I really don't give a fuck. Probably the sketchy, actually.
All right, then you're going to be in the down goblin watching the fights, and you can like make bets on the fights and stuff.
Alright,
Cool.
I can? Awesome.
We'll skip past that. And we have Captain Helga. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm probably in a bar fight somewhere. Honestly, that's like.
So you're all in the same bar, just betting on Flintlock, or
I'm not
against
betting on
Flintlock.
them. I'm probably the one that's fighting.
Oh, okay. So we've got Helga versus Flintlock going on in the pits right now. Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm totally an instigator. If there's a fight going on, I'm going to be a part of it, no matter what's going on.
So do you want to be like bar fights, like somebody punching somebody at the bar, or do you want to be like the person in the pit that people are betting on, or both?
Or probably just in the bar fighting somebody.
Okay, so not like not the bet fights, just like you
Right.
instigate a bar fight. Okay, cool. Do you want to be at the same kind of sketchy bar, the Down Goblin, or do you want to be at something classier, or?
Oh, I'm totally a sketchy bar kind of person.
Okay, then we're just gonna put you all in the Down Goblin. Perfect. Ostarion, where are you going, buddy?
Well, I guess I turn east. I think it was from
Towards the market?
palace. Yeah, and I walk
Okay.
off through the market, and I'm looking around, looking for anybody who could help me out in my quest or whatever to get rid of the goblins in my hold. And I see. I guess I would see the downed goblin. And
the Down Goblin's going to be a bit more to the north, but you could stop in at like a few other bars and stuff.
I've been like walking for a while.
All right, so you stopped in at.
Around.
So you just started asking around at the market, seeing if there's people that would be hired, and you get a lot of people who are like, oh yeah, there's always people for hire, and then you tell them about your job, that you're going to the Rogalan Keep or the Old Rose Town, and instantly people kind of clam up, and they don't really seem that interested in going. And you're not really sure why.
Which doesn't.
Besides the fact that it's
doesn't
just like.
surprise me.
I guess there was, yeah. But it's kind of. People don't really want to go into that. So as you go into like the more.
Yeah.
Like, for example, you go into one bar and the barkeep kind of points you to some guys in the back, kind of the darkest corner. It's a bit classier of a place, but there's still like that dark corner creepy person. And you go over to them and you're like, oh yeah, I totally arms for hire, whatever. And so you start telling them about the job, and they're just like, no, go find someone else. So you start heading into the sketchier parts of town, and you walk into the Downed Goblin.
Yeah, I found it funny that the goblin was called the Down Goblin. I needed to go kill goblins. So
I actually didn't even put that together.
But I walk in and start to look around. I see a fight happening at the bar, and I guess there's the pit.
Yeah, so you walk in and you see. So there's like the person who's obviously in charge of the betting, and there's a fight going on between a like dwarven gnome-like person and some other. We're gonna say he's like. Actually, he's a half ogre. Yeah, we're gonna go with a half ogre. So he's like 8 feet tall and like green, and
No, I'm actually just a dwarf.
oh, you're just a dwarf now. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm not an ogre.
Oh no, the other guy, he's the half ogre.
Oh, he can be an ogre.
Yeah. So you're the dwarf, and he's this half ogre. So it's like the difference between like what are you like 4 feet? 4'8".
8'7".
Yeah, so you're 4'8".
Oh yeah, 8 with boots.
Yeah, nice. So you've got like this 4'8" little guy, total like in this whole like get up, like obviously like he puts time into this, and you have this half ogre who just looks like he's pissed and he just wants to punch something, and they're both like rubbed with all this like oil and stuff, and they're like totally going at it. I want you to make me a strength check. Flintlock.
How do I do that?
So you can go. You can.
Is it like the dice roll, or is there a?
Yes. So you can, if you go to the core page on your sheet and then just click the word strength by your ability mods, it'll roll it for you. And you rolled a 6. So just since that just came up, the reason that it has you roll 2 dice is in 5th edition there's a thing called advantage and disadvantage. If you have advantage, you take the best of the 2 dice, and if you have disadvantage, you take the worst of the 2 dice. Otherwise, we always take the first roll on the list, so you get the 6. So this is a really, really rough fight, and neither of you are performing really well for some reason, probably because of the massive height difference. But eventually you do actually lose this fight. Upon losing the fight, somebody who happened to bet against you, named Captain Helga, gets gypped out of her winnings and totally just throws a punch at the money changer. Or something like that. Right? Is that accurate? Yeah, Helga.
Who are you asking?
Helga.
Helga, you're up.
Helga, you just got gypped out of your winnings from that fight. What do you do?
She's ruffling pretty hard.
Did I get you too?
No, we're gonna say you're good for now.
Sorry, Leo.
Hey, I'm gonna mute my mic. You have to unmute yours.
We can hear her through your mic. What am I doing? She's unmuted. I'm not hearing anything though.
Yes.
Here, just.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah.
I can hear you now.
But that was through my mic.
No, mine's fixed.
Are you sure about that?
No, it was definitely through his.
Yeah. Yep. Don't hear anything.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah, so are
mine
you-
would be pickpocketing.
Oh, you're just gonna pickpocket the guy? You're not gonna bother like punching him and taking the money? You're just gonna pickpocket it back?
Yeah.
Alright. Just so you know, wait. You haven't... Tana, I still see 89 as your weight. Apparently it didn't update. You should be able to hold 65 without being encumbered. Okay. Also, you can totally, if you want to say things just to me in Roll20 chat, so you don't have to switch, if you do... then it'll send it so only I can see.
My weight looks like I'm really encumbered, but that's just 'cause I itemized all my weight, and so when fighting happens, backpack goes off, and I should be okay.
Alright, so that's totally fine, and you can do that. But anybody can run by and pick up your backpack, and you can lose your stuff if that happens.
And I can kill them.
This is true. Never said that wasn't a thing. Just letting you know.
It's a thing, and I let them know.
Okay. Alright, so Ostarion, this is what you see as you walk into the bar. What do you do?
Well, this is a somewhat like
Sketchy. Yeah.
seedy establishment, and I'm a bit. It's not my like usual crowd, but
Definitely not.
I guess I go up to the barkeep and order a drink.
Alright, so the
'Cause
barkeep...
I've been wandering around town looking for people to help me out. So
the barkeep here was this woman with dark gray eyes, or like her iris. Yeah, it almost looks like a like mid-winter snowstorm kind of thing where everything's just dark, and that's like the color of her eyes. Her hair is black and it's just longer than shoulder length. She's extremely pale, but for some reason still has freckles, which is really weird considering freckles are usually caused by sunlight, so she should be tan if she has freckles, but that's not a thing.
If you say so.
Yeah. Well, not never, but yeah. Yeah, so you just ordered a drink. What are you getting? They do actually have a specialty here called Hade's Hatred. If you wanted to try it.
I'll take the specialty. Sure.
Alright, so it takes her a minute, and she's combining like 5 or 6 different alcohols and then adding like fruit flavorings into it, and then she hands it to you. This whole time she hasn't said a word.
Thank you for the drink. How much do I owe you?
She taps a sign behind her, and it says that's 5 silver, which is like $50.
I'm a bit taken aback, but I did order it, so I guess I'll just pay for it. That's fine.
Alright. She kind of chuckles to herself and gives you back 4 of them and just keeps the 1.
Alright.
So in reality, it was like $10. And you take like, or how do you approach this drink?
I'll just take a swig.
Like a full-on, just like drink it.
I guess, yeah.
All right, I want you to make me a Constitution check.
Oh, great.
Or Constitution save.
-1 Constitution.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, you totally like gag on this stuff because it's so powerful, and like it tastes fantastic, but it just like it burns to your core as you drink it.
All right.
So, the guy sitting next to you, just some random dude with like a scar down his face, he's full and like laughs at you.
I turn a bit red and put the drink down.
Okay. So everybody, you're kind of just hanging out. Flintlock, your fight did end, so whatever you're doing, this is up to you guys.
The next fight? More fighting?
You can sign up to be back in the queue, but there is a queue behind you, so it would take a minute. But yeah, you could get another fight.
Yeah. I mean, whether I win or lose, eventually I'll have paid for my night and all the beer I'm gonna drink. So
That's fair.
I fight until I pass out or
If something
get
else
my
happens.
night paid for. Yeah.
Perfect. Somebody, and you're all 4 there. Do something.
Well, I'm looking around and I see Firebeard going back to the queue, and I came in right after he lost. So
As he was losing, yeah, the end of the fight.
yeah, near the end, and I find it interesting that he's going right back to fight again. It's kind of it's a bit odd for me. I'm definitely not used to like city life, so I go over and say hello, I guess.
Say hello. Introduce
Hello.
yourselves to each other, whatever.
Hello.
Hello, friend. I see you like to fight, sir. So I am looking for a group of people to help me clear out a keep that isn't currently infested with goblins, and I can pay you well.
Accepting pay is one of my specialties.